Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
Oh, I thought you'd never ask. Today is Wednesday, the 12th day of August. We are sitting right here on National Julienne Fries Day. Have we ever had Julienne fries?
I don't think I have.
Is that just like regular fries, but they're just cut like thinner?
Oh, the straight... I don't know. Maybe that is. Then I have, if that's all it is.
I'm going to have to Google that and see. National Vinyl Record Day. We actually have some vinyl records.
Yes, we do. We have
a record
quite
player?
a few. We don't anymore.
Our daughter took the record player that was in our house.
Yeah.
I might have to dig around and see. National Middle Child Day. Hey, it's my day. Right in the middle. National, Congressional Startup Day today as well. And I have a guest joining me on the program. Today we have a comedy call. I really like these comedy calls. Have you noticed that I've been doing more of those, Heidi?
I know you enjoy the comedy calls.
The reason I do is because I think right now people just need to smile more often, because there's a lot of people that are just kind of bummed out lately. So we're going to try to make you less bummed out. We're going to chat with Aries Spears, very funny guy. He was on Mad TV. He's been on a bunch of other fun stuff, and he's got a new special we're going to be chatting about coming up in just a bit on the John and Heidi Show.
The old way of living with diabetes is a pain. The new way is with a continuous glucose monitor. You simply apply a discreet, easy-to-use sensor on your body. If you test your blood sugar at least 4 times per day and inject insulin at least 3 times per day, or use an insulin pump and have private insurance or Medicare, you might be eligible for a CGM with little or no cost to you. Call now and say goodbye to finger pricks.
800-659-7805. That's 800-659-7805.
Now, surveys and studies and such brought to you by BetterCreditCards.com. People who've been experimenting with Amazon's new Echo frames, they're like glasses, they say that the talking Alexa sunglasses may be spying on them. Ooh.
Do you think?
I just heard Alexa in the other room because I said her name, so she's talking. We're talking about you spying on us. Just so you know. Yeah, so I think our Alexa may be spying on us as well. I don't know if anybody on the radio could hear it, but in a very far distance, we could hear her talking. So that was kind of funny. Surveys and studies and such brought to you by BetterCreditCards.com. If you have a credit card, our friends at BetterCreditCards.com would like to make sure it's the best credit card for you. Take a few minutes to look at your current interest rate and then see what you get for points and perks. Then go to BetterCreditCards.com to see if they can help you find a better credit card. This will literally cost you nothing, and it could help you save money by getting a better credit card. Even if you don't have a credit card right now, you can check it out too at BetterCreditCards.com. That's BetterCreditCards.com. This is your Brain on Drugs, brought to you by TimeForRehab.com. Utah man behind bars after allegedly telling police that he was transporting 40 grams of meth to give to his friends. Paul Aldridge, arrested.
It's still illegal, buddy.
Charges of providing false info with the intent to be another person, driving a motor vehicle while having his driving privileges denied, and using and possessing drug paraphernalia and a controlled substance. Anyway, all of that stuff because he was traveling southbound when he appeared to be texting and driving, which is not a good thing to do. So that's when they first stopped him. And when they stopped him, they asked to get his license and registration. He said, I don't have that on me. Then he gave a fake name. Turns out that wasn't his name. Got himself in a lot of trouble because he had a large amount of meth in the vehicle that he said, no, I'm not selling it. I'm just giving it to my friends.
Still illegal.
Either way.
It does not matter.
Various other items in there as well. So he was eventually arrested because that is what happens when your brain is on drugs.
John and Heidi.
Now, big screen, little screen, brought to you by ChannelSurferTV.com. I think we might have mentioned this last week, but I've got another story here that says Tom Hanks is being considered for a role as Geppetto in a new Pinocchio film.
You did talk about this.
I've got a link to a different story if you want to read more details on that. CBS is making a quarantine edition of Love Island. Well, what is that going to be? I don't really understand what a quarantine edition of Love Island. Would that be just everybody stay at home and just
You're not allowed to leave?
I'm not sure. I have no idea. The Daily Beast recently reported that they said they're examining why people are reluctant to criticize Beyonce. So they're saying that it's interesting that nobody will say anything negative about Beyonce, and they think that there's some conspiracy.
I will.
Would you just stop? But we don't have any reason to criticize her, so maybe there's not a reason to? I have no idea.
Oh, there's reasons to criticize Beyonce.
Well, don't criticize her because they're checking into why we can't do that. And Disney Plus is going to charge customers an extra $30 to view the new Mulan when the film is released. So they're saying if you want to watch that, in addition to paying for your fees for Disney Plus, then you can also pay an additional $30 to watch that movie.
Well, that would be like
a
pay-per-view thing.
But people are freaking out over that. So they're like, no, I'm already paying my Disney Plus.
Well, it's not included
free.
for that. So
Exactly. Heidi gets it. She gets it. Why don't you get it? Everybody should get it. All right. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
If you take Viagra or Cialis, call now with your prescription and pay as little as $2 a pill. Call Pharmacy Shop 24/7 to get generic versions of Viagra or Cialis for as little as $2 a pill, plus free discreet shipping.
Call 800-214-7977. 800-214-7977. 800-214-7977. Again, that's 800-214-7977.
Now your scoop of the day. It comes your way, courtesy of InsuranceChicken.com. Tinder. You've heard of that, right? Mm-hmm. You have that on your phone, by the way?
No.
Okay, that's good. She's my wife. I was hoping that she would not. So
it's not as easy to use as eHarmony.
Oh, really? Is that what it is? Oh, wow. Anyway, their stock has surged by 12%. Online dating has gone through the roof.
Well, of course it has. You can't go anywhere.
Yes, there's more and more people that are not meeting each other at bars because they're not doing that. So they're going, okay, well, let's hit this little phone here screen. Let's see what happens. Oh, hey, I'll talk to this person. So there you go. By the way, be careful out there. I talked to a friend who was doing some online dating stuff. I'm not going to say who it was on the radio because that wouldn't be nice, but he ended up giving some lady $2,000.
Oh, don't ever give anybody money.
Don't do that. If they're asking for money through an online dating thing, that's not the right person.
No.
Just no.
Run.
Don't. Speaking of money, billionaire Richard Branson is expected to fly into outer space on a Virgin Galactic rocket next year. That will get him there before fellow billionaires Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos, who both have also said, I'd be kind of interested in going to outer space. Branson, by the way, owns Virgin Airlines, which is also the company that owns Virgin Galactic. So
I don't understand the fascination. I have zero interest in going into space.
You don't want to leave the planet?
I don't want to leave the planet at all.
No. I'm going to say, if you're going to leave the planet, this would have been a good year to do it. See you later,
I have no interest in going.
Yeah, I don't know.
Out.
It'll be interesting to see how all that goes because there's still a lot of danger involved in that.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. It's just I don't know. Vulture is a magazine, maybe? They published, it says, a new piece detailing comedian Jeff Ross and his relationship with a 15-year-old girl in the early 2000s.
Oh, no.
Yeah, that's not good. City of Pittsburgh is experimenting with a guaranteed income that would pay select citizens, not everybody, just select citizens, $500 a month if you'll move to Pittsburgh. So there you go. But the good news is you get $500 a month. Bad news is you got to move to Pittsburgh.
And you have to be the select citizen. Who's the select citizen?
I don't know. I don't know what they're looking for. But they're, according to this, it's like they're missing certain key demographics. And they're going, if we could just get these people to move here, that fit this guideline. It's not the only place that's ever done that. I've got a link to the story, by the way, if you want to see if you make the cut. I didn't even click it because I like right where I'm at. And Los Angeles Mayor Eric Garcetti, am I saying that right?
I have no idea.
I've never heard his name pronounced because, I'm not there. Anyway, he's going to shut off power at homes that throw large parties in defiance of lockdown orders.
Totally illegal.
So there are people that are saying, you can't do that. And he's going, but I'm the mayor, so I can do whatever I want. And they're like, yeah, that's not going to end well. So interesting to see what happens there. One last thing. University of Connecticut has canceled their football season because of COVID concerns, and they're not the only ones. You're seeing more and more and more of those stories, a lot of different things like that, but there's one of them anyway. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Wednesday. Nobody wants to buy car insurance. It's not a fun thing to think about, but it's something you need if you want to drive your car. So even if you don't want to buy insurance, you probably have to get it from someone. So why not buy it from InsuranceChicken.com? Okay, I'll admit, our website name is dumb. InsuranceChicken.com. Yeah, our marketing department is not that great. but our selection of insurance options is amazing. See if we can save you money each month on our dumb website, InsuranceChicken.com. That's InsuranceChicken.com. Thank you for listening to the John and Heidi Show. Super excited to visit with a very funny man, Aries Spears. Aries, how you doing?
I'm good, brother. How are you?
I am fantastic. Now, you are a very funny comedian. How long have you been doing stand-up comedy?
About 30 years, man.
And what was it that first got you interested in doing this?
Well, coming up, man, I was an 80s baby, so I got to enjoy my years watching Eddie Murphy on Saturday Night Live, and he was probably my biggest inspiration. And after seeing 48 Hours and Delirious, I really knew that that's what I wanted to do.
And his comedy back then is so completely different than the characters he played later in movies. But super funny dude no matter what. Over the course of time, you've had a chance to do some fun projects. Is there a project that you've done as you look back that you say, this was my favorite thing that I've had a chance to be a part of?
You know, Mad TV, especially during my earlier years, was a lot of fun because it was kind of like my crash course in comedy in terms of working with an ensemble group. And I just had such a good time with, castmates Mo Collins and Will Sasso, Deborah Wilson, and Mike McDonald and Nicole Sullivan. So that was probably like my college years.
And talk about a fun program to be on and to be able to hone your skills working with some of the best in the business. That would have to be just kind of a surreal experience to be on Mad TV.
Yeah, it was. And I'd like to think that to some extent, we defined an era when, we were the only show other than SNL to kind of have that kind of longevity. So it's a cool thing to be a part of.
Now, something that you've been doing here just recently that's certainly caught on and has a huge following. You've started doing a podcast and millions of spins now of people listening to this. How did the concept for the podcast come together? And tell us a little bit about it for folks that haven't had a chance to listen.
Yeah, the podcast is called Spears and Steinberg, The Jew and the Jerk. It's kind of like because of all this cancer culture and political correctness run amok. I just felt like we really wanted to do something that was honest and real and open with no restrictions. And it's almost like the Prohibition era. People want to drink alcohol. They want to feel good. And, I think that we've come at a time where people are being tired of being so politically correct and not being able to be honest about what they feel. So that's kind of what we like to offer.
And the people that are tuning in and listening, are you getting some pretty good feedback from folks?
Yeah, and again, people appreciate the honesty because, at the end of the day, I think we're still very honest. We're just not open about it. I think we're honest behind closed doors and in the privacy of our own homes. And at the end of the day, it's all about entertainment. So, if we can make you laugh and make you think and challenge you, all for the better.
Now, speaking of making people laugh, I'm looking here at a pretty nice list of dates for comedy tour. Are you still out doing a lot of this stuff, or have some of these things been canceled because of 2020?
Yeah, some of it's been rescheduled, some of it's been canceled, and it's tough. But I think that people still need to be able to come out and laugh and try to maintain some sense of normalcy. And as hard as that may be, I think it's necessary and needed, and of course it's weird being on stage and seeing people laugh with masks on, but some people wear them, some people don't, but at the end of the day, I prefer condomless comedy, so, come on out and take that mask off.
Have you seen some interesting things on tour in 2020 that you never thought you'd ever see doing comedy?
No, not in that sense, but just it's just surreal to see people spread out. So, that's the hardest adjustment. But again, hopefully we can, with fingers crossed, get some sort of vaccine for this thing and get back to normal.
Absolutely. Well, thank you very much for taking some time to chat with us, and we certainly appreciate you chatting with us. And if folks would like to find this podcast, where do they go for that?
Yeah, it's available on all streaming platforms, Apple, Spotify, Google Play, Amazon. But of course, I always tell people, you know what? Hit me in my DMs, and I'll personally send you the links. And my Instagram is my name, Aries Spears, with the blue verification check mark.
See, and I was trying to follow you, and I ended up following Britney Spears. I did something wrong.
Boom, boom.
Have a good day, man. Thank you a bunch.
All right. Thanks, brother.
Again, Aries Spears, and I'm going to make it easy to find him online. I'll throw some links in the show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com.
The old way of living with diabetes is a pain. The new way is with a continuous glucose monitor. You simply apply a discreet, easy-to-use sensor on your body. If you test your blood sugar at least 4 times per day and inject insulin at least 3 times per day or use an insulin pump and have private insurance or Medicare, you might be eligible for a CGM with little or no cost to you. Call now and say goodbye to finger pricks.
800-659-7805. That's 800-659-7805.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
In 1943, this is before your time, before my time, even before my dad's time. In 1943, Philip Morris, the tobacco company, they ran an ad talking about smoker's cough, but their ad claimed that it was caused by other brands.
Not by their
theirs.
brand.
They're like, yeah, don't those other ones. They cause smoker's cough. Use ours. So anyway, it's amazing when you look at some of the old advertisements,
isn't it?
and some of the claims that were made, and some of the things that it's just a different time.
Yeah,
so
really
we look back at things, and
was.
back then those were the experts, and the experts,
That's
agreed.
why you don't always trust the experts.
Oh, exactly. So just interesting stuff. I've got a link. Actually, I don't have a link. If you want to find it, you can find it online, I'm sure. But I do have that story in the show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com. If you have a credit card, our friends at bettercreditcards.com would like to make sure it's the best credit card for you. Take a few minutes to look at your current interest rate and then see what you get for points and perks. Then go to bettercreditcards.com to see if they can help you find a better credit card. This will literally cost you nothing, and it could help you save money by getting a better credit card. Even if you don't have a credit card right now, you can check it out too at bettercreditcards.com. That's bettercreditcards.com. Time now for a news headline from somewhere in this world, Dateline Finland. You've been to Finland, haven't you?
I have.
What was it like there? Was it nice?
Oh, I loved Finland.
Should we go sometime?
Yes, you would love Finland.
We'll go check out Finland, but not right now because Dateline Finland, a surge in coronavirus cases has forced Finland to reintroduce their recommendations for people to work from home. So they're saying things are not going so great there. They're saying everybody should just go back home now. So there you go. I have a link to that story, by the way, if you're interested. It's in the show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com.
If you take Viagra or Cialis, call now with your prescription and pay as little as $2 a pill. Call Pharmacy Shop 24/7 to get generic versions of Viagra or Cialis for as little as $2 a pill, plus free discreet shipping.
Call 800-214-7977. 800-214-7977. 800-214-7977. Again, that's 800-214-7977.
Now, some weird news brought to you by WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com. And I wonder if your brother knows these people. It says here, what may be the least lucrative heist ever. A convicted felon broke into an Iowa bank early Tuesday and escaped. So this is like a week ago. Escaped with only hand sanitizer. 39-year-old Mark Gray locked up on a trio of felony charges for burglarizing 3 Sioux City businesses, including the Security National Bank branch. I know right where that is. We used to live right down there. Gray is locked up in the Woodbury County Jail on a $6,000 bond in connection with the string of pre-dawn break-ins, currently on probation for a 2019 burglary conviction. He used a tool to smash a glass door of the bank at 12:15 a.m., entered the lobby area and stole some hand sanitizer, and then took off. He's also charged with burglarizing a counseling agency and a restaurant. Post-arrest, he reportedly told the Sioux City Police Department, that's where Heidi's brother works, by the way, that he entered the businesses and searched around for things of value, and he wanted money that he could steal. But he ended up leaving with nothing other than hand sanitizer and an arrest.
Hope it was worth it, buddy.
Bad idea. It's today's weird news.
John and Heidi.
Time now for your moment of duh, brought to you by InsuranceChicken.com. Police in Italy have identified a 50-year-old Austrian man who broke 3 toes off a statue at a museum. Then he posed for a photo with the artwork. 200-year-old plaster cast models of different statues. It says here, the incident happened July 31st in this museum in northern Italy. The man, whose name is not in the release, was caught on surveillance jumping onto the statue's base and getting a picture when the maneuver inadvertently snapped off the toes of the statue.
So he didn't mean to, he wasn't chiseling the toes
No.
off. He just busted them accidentally.
The damaged statue, the original plaster cast from this carving of a marble statue is housed in Rome. Police contacted a woman who signed in on behalf of herself and her husband. She burst into tears and admitted that, it was her husband that was the toll breaker.
Oh, my gosh.
She's currently they're trying to decide whether to press charges or not. So,
yeah.
It was an accident,
It was an
but
accident,
you
but
don't do that.
You're not supposed to be on
that's
those
why
things.
they have
There's a reason for that.
He jumped over a barricade to get back there and snap a photo, but instead of snapping a photo, he snapped a photo.
They almost have to press charges because otherwise there's no boundaries for anybody else.
The whole thing. Bad idea. What a terrible, terrible, terrible idea. It's today's moment of duh. Nobody wants to buy car insurance. It's not a fun thing to think about, but it's something you need if you want to drive your car. So even if you don't want to buy insurance, you probably have to get it from someone. So why not buy it from InsuranceChicken.com? Okay, I'll admit, our website name is dumb. InsuranceChicken.com. Yeah, our marketing department is not that great. But our selection of insurance options is amazing. See if we can save you money each month on our dumb website, InsuranceChicken.com. That's InsuranceChicken.com. Time now for fake news or Florida. Heidi, tell me, is this a true story from the great state of Florida, or is it fake news made up to trick you and amuse me? Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, fake news or Florida. Florida man, a patient in a hospital, set his hospital bed on fire after he felt like he was being ignored by nurses. Fake news or Florida?
I would say Florida.
It's a true story. What are you doing? Hey, I pushed the buzzer. You didn't come in. Set my bed on
That's one
fire.
way to get some attention.
Yeah, it's not a good way. I'm sure that's not a good way because, boy, you could have burned the whole hospital down. So he set his bed on fire. What in the world? I've got a link to the story if you want to read it. It's in the show notes for today at JohnandHeidiShow.com.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by the John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying the John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
We always like to wrap things up around here with good news, and I think this is good news. It's actually a really good idea. Here's the headline. Good news comes your way, by the way, courtesy of BetterCreditCards.com. Germany is planning to dim lights at night to save insects. It says artificial light at night.
Save insects.
Yeah, take a listen, though. It negatively impacts thousands of species of insects.
Good.
So, maybe. So some you probably want to get rid of, but not all of them. So some of these insects are really important insects, and they're accidentally getting killed because of these lights. Anyway, it can affect insects in pretty much every imaginable part of their life. And in Germany, they're working on this way to come up with a way to turn off some of the lights at night that are not needed, which actually is going to save energy too.
It'll save energy, but who wants to save the insects?
A number of new measures. Well, they want to save because some of these insects are important for their entire, like the biology of the entire area. So like if these particular insects would die off, that's food that these other insects eat. And it's just like the whole, God had a plan, Heidi. It's not like he said, oh, wow, that one slipped past me. Maybe I shouldn't have made those. So everything has a reason. They say light traps insects, and a lot of them are being killed because of that. So there's a lot to this story. It says the use of weed killers and insecticides are going to be banned in these national parks as well. And they're going to try this for a short amount of time to see if it makes a big difference.
Yeah.
And
then coming in 2021 in Germany, 50-pound mosquitoes.
I guess we'll see. I've got a link to the story if you want to read it maybe a little more coherently than I skimmed through it. It's in the show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Bye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Have a great day. Thank you for listening to the John and Heidi Show.